What if the US dollar lost its status as the world's reserve currency tomorrow? Not in 50 years. Not in 10. Tomorrow. What would happen to your savings, your rent, your grocery bill? Most people have never thought about this. But some of the most powerful countries on earth are already making moves to make it happen. Right now, the US dollar is the king of global finance. 88% of all international transactions use dollars. When Saudi Arabia sells oil, they price it in dollars. When Brazil buys fertilizer from Russia, they settle in dollars. The dollar isn't just America's currency. It's the world's operating system. So why would anyone want to kill it? Because whoever controls the operating system controls the game. In 2022, the US froze $300 billion of Russia's foreign reserves overnight. Overnight. One country's entire savings, gone with a keystroke. Every government on earth watched that and thought the same thing, that could be me next. And now it's not just talk. China and Russia now trade in yuan and rubles. India buys Russian oil in rupees. Saudi Arabia, America's oldest ally in the Middle East, is accepting yuan for oil. BRICS nations are actively building an alternative payment system. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's on the front page of the Financial Times. Now you might be thinking, cool, a bunch of countries are switching currencies. How does this affect me? I live in Ohio. I get paid in dollars. I buy my coffee in dollars. Here's how. The dollar's value doesn't come from gold. It doesn't come from the US economy alone. It comes from the fact that everyone in the world needs dollars. That demand is what keeps your currency strong. When countries stop needing dollars, demand drops. When demand drops, the dollar weakens. When the dollar weakens, everything you import gets more expensive. Your iPhone. Assembled in China. Your gas. Priced on global markets. Your clothes, your electronics, your car parts, all tied to global supply chains priced in dollars. A weaker dollar means higher prices on everything. Not because companies are greedy. Because your money simply buys less. But it gets worse. Right now, the US government borrows money at low interest rates because the whole world wants to hold dollars. It's like having the best credit score on the planet. If that demand disappears, interest rates spike. Mortgages go up. Car loans go up. Credit card rates go up. The government's own debt becomes more expensive to service. And guess who pays for that? You do. Through higher taxes or fewer services. Think this can't happen? It already did. The British pound was once the world's reserve currency. The sun never set on the British Empire, and the pound was king. Then World War II drained Britain's treasury. The US stepped in. By 1956, during the Suez Crisis, Britain couldn't even defend its own interests without American permission. The transition took decades, but when it tipped fast. Now look at the numbers today. The dollar's share of global reserves has fallen from 72% in 2000 to 57% in 2026. Central banks bought more gold in 2025 than any year in history. China has dumped over $500 billion in US Treasury bonds since 2013. The trend is not subtle. It's accelerating. Now, let me be fair. The dollar is not dying tomorrow. There is no replacement ready. The yuan has capital controls. The euro has political fragmentation. Bitcoin is too volatile. The dollar still has the deepest, most liquid markets on earth. But here's the thing, reserve currency status doesn't disappear in a single event. It erodes. Slowly, then suddenly. And while you're waiting for the big headline, inflation is already eating your savings right now. Consumer inflation expectations just hit 4.8%. Your bank pays you, what, 2%? That means every single year, your money in the bank loses almost 3% of its real value. $100,000 today. Worth $97,000 next year in purchasing power. Do nothing for a decade, and you've lost a quarter of your wealth without spending a dime. So what do you actually do? I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you what history teaches. When currencies weaken, hard assets win. Things you can touch. Things that can't be printed. Gold has been money for 5,000 years. No government can print more of it. In the 1970s, when the dollar lost its gold backing, gold went from $35 to $850 in 9 years. Today, it's breaking records again. Core real estate in major cities holds value because people always need somewhere to live. And diversifying your currency exposure, holding some savings outside the dollar, is not unpatriotic. It's pragmatic. The biggest risk isn't the dollar collapsing overnight. The biggest risk is assuming it never will. Every empire that ever printed a reserve currency believed it would last forever. None of them did. If you found this useful, subscribe. I break down the economics hiding behind your everyday life. Because the best time to understand money is before it loses its value. Not after.